Warning, boil water alert.
Today there is a water warning in effect for much of West Pembroke Pines, that whole area, a big swath of the city being told to boil water until further notice. This includes a whole lot of schools and restaurants as well.
Here's what's affected essentially. If you're drinking water, if you're cooking with water, you're going to want to have to boil it. Washing dishes, brushing your teeth, and one thing that people forget often is making ice. Or if you have an automatic ice maker, you should also boil that water before you do so.
Fear of bacteria contaminating the water supply and making people sick has triggered a boil advice.
Major health threat after officials discovered toxins in the water supply. Tonight, the scramble for bottled water, the restaurants shut down, and no word yet on when it will be safe to drink again. ABC's Lindsay Janis with the latest details.
With the chemicals coming through when you're taking a shower, you can smell the bleach, you can smell the chlorine, and it's just, there's no way I'm going to drink that water.
And now a news alert. Empty store shelves in Brighton. Residents buying up all the bottled water they can find after an E. coli scare. That's prompting a warning to avoid the city's water supply. We are closely monitoring this situation. We should know in the next couple of hours if a boil advisory can be lifted.
Tens of thousands of water customers out there. You need to boil your water. And we now know this boil water warning and advisory, this is going to stay in effect until Tuesday.
Being asked to boil their water while the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission searches for a broken water main.
Boil your water. That's what residents of parts of Spokane Valley are being told to do to stay safe from an E. coli outbreak in their water system.
The mayor has been fully briefed, and we just got off the phone with the governor's office. The number one job of the Portland Water Bureau is to provide safe, clean water to people and businesses in our community. When we find bacteria in the water system, we take it very seriously, and we take a cautious and conservative approach. Today, we're announcing a boil water notice.
The New York Times reports that chemical factories, manufacturing plants, and other workplaces have violated water pollution laws more than 500,000 times, while state officials and the Environmental Protection Agency look on. The violations range from failing to report emissions to dumping toxins at concentrations regulators say might contribute to cancer, birth defects, and other illnesses.
Well, how would you feel about a mouthful of nitrates? Take a sip of Monterey County, California's drinking water, and that may be just what you get. The county on the Pacific Coast is just one of many of California's that have the dodgy drinking water. And the area's water problem is boiling over. Back in 2011, the county issued an advisory. If you want safe water, drink bottled only.
The thing that we're here to see is your water safe? Any agreements that you have, any quarrels you have.
You're saying my water's safe. Okay. I'm going to get some of you guys. I want you to drink it.
I'm not drinking your water.
Why? You think I can drink it? Why can't you drink it?
Getting clean water isn't an issue just in Toledo. Cities around the country are threatened by pollution frequently as runoff from large-scale farming causes toxic algal blooms in water supplies.
It's a problem that's been increasing maybe in the last decade as we're seeing more intensive agriculture, more use of nutrients, more non-point source pollution. It's becoming more of an issue in more states.
In cities such as Washington, D.C. and Chicago, the enemy is so-called combined sewer overflows, sewage that mixes with rainwater after heavy storms and enters water systems.
The governor of Ohio has declared a state of emergency in and around the city of Toledo. Tests show the area's water is toxic and no one should drink it. As Mark Albert tells us, some 500,000 people now have no water.
They're having to live without the most basic necessities, limited showers, no washing dishes. You can see right there lines of people forming, waiting to get their hands on a limited supply of bottled water.
This store sold more than 40,000 bottles yesterday. This water crisis now in day 2, with people having to be careful once again while they're brushing teeth and showering not to swallow the water.
When was the last time you stopped to think about the one thing you can't live without? No, I'm not talking about the internet. I'm talking about water. Without clean drinking water, life couldn't go on. So it's probably important that we know what's in the water we drink. For the past 65 years, city governments nationwide have been adding a substance called fluoride to the water supply. The practice of water fluoridation started at a time in history when asbestos, PCBs, and DDT were all deemed safe and effective.
Now, I've spent 16 years researching the fluoridation issue, first as a professor of chemistry, specializing in environmental chemistry and toxicology, and now as the director of the Fluoride Action Network. The research effort culminated in October 2010 with the publication of this book with two other scientists, James Beck, an MD, PhD from Calgary, and Spenny Micklem, a doctor of philosophy from Oxford, a biologist, a physicist, and a chemist. Every single argument in this book is documented with the scientific literature with 80 pages of scientific references. And what has been the response to our book from the fluoridation people? After 22 months, there has been no scientific response to our book from promoters of fluoridation. And yet, they still continue to maintain that science is on their side and repeat their mantra that fluoridation is safe and effective.
Proof. Chinese industrial fluoride suppliers openly list sodium fluoride as insecticide and adhesive preservative in addition to water treatment chemical. Fluoride-pushing doctors and dentists who try to contaminate your water supply with fluoride are promoting their deadly agenda with a clever lie, a lie you will see obediently repeated in every fluoride push.
And so here's the recommended dose for a baby. None. So water fluoridation delivers to an infant a dose of fluoride that would be gross malpractice if any physician, family physician, dentist, or licensed practitioner in the state of California were to write a prescription for that amount. Therefore, you have a duty to inform the parents about this increased dose beyond what the family doctor can prescribe and warn them to not make up tap water formula. I thought water was supposed to be safe for all of us. Even the ADA agrees. They warn their members, not you, not the water districts. Of course they recommend fluoridation, but they tell members to tell their parents of children to make up tap water formula with fluoride-free water.
There's a whole load of gas under your feet right now. Possibly. So much so, in fact, that extracting it has made the US the largest producer in the world and could help fulfill its energy demands for years to come, not to mention employing tens of thousands. And that's why fields throughout America and increasingly the rest of the world are full of people fracking. Steady now. This controversial drilling technique has sparked allegations of false information and cover-ups on both sides. So here's some of the key points to help you make your mind up. Firstly, just what is fracking? Notebooks at the ready, here's a handy diagram.
So what modern operators do is pump large volumes of water and sand into the formation where it actually cracks the rock open, a whole bunch of tiny fractures, leaving the reservoir permeable to the oil and gas to come up to the wellhead. It's not done properly. The frac fluids can actually get out of the wellbore and contaminate water formations.
Which means that if for some reason you ever try and weld with the tap running, affected residents are understandably angry.
Scientists have discovered radioactive materials in the water off the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles.
For those who say this is below permissible limits or safe limits, there is no safe limit. All radiation is harmful, even at the lowest doses.
Joe Mangano with the Radiation Health Project isn't surprised that radioactive iodine from Japan is showing up in drinking water here in Philadelphia, but he is concerned. The amounts are the highest from Japan detected here so far in the United States.
It's a tricky thing to get your hand on. First of all, there's nothing to see, there's nothing to hear, there's nothing to taste or smell. Radiation is in the air and in the milk and the water, but you can't see it unless you detect it. So there's sort of a tendency to push it aside.
The report from the EPA states 3 drinking water samples from here at the Belmont Treatment Plant, Queens Lane, and Baxter contain iodine 131. But the EPA says the sample is still below its maximum containment level for iodine. Mangano warns, though, not to assume that means it is harmless. The reality is, this is the water we drink, cook with, and bathe in.
Cancer is the first one. Birth defects is another one. There are other infections is another one. But especially when we're talking about the infants and children, infant deaths.
Greg, Lucy, for months we fought with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality trying to get access to these documents and emails like this. And it took the Attorney General to finally get them released. And it was only then that we discovered perhaps what the TCEQ didn't want us or you to know.
It's a conspiracy at the TCEQ of the highest order.
Tom Smith of the consumer advocacy group Public Citizen is alarmed.
The documents have indicted the management of this commission in a massive cover-up.
Alarmed because of something we uncovered.
To convince people that our water is safe to drink when it is in fact not.
Recently, we reported how the state of Texas hid from the public just how much radiation was really in our drinking water, cutting and lowering the amounts detected in government lab tests. But now, because of these documents, we know that some of the state's most prominent politicians knew all about it.
In an independent test of bottled water, we sent 7 brands to 2 separate labs. One to Test America, and the other to Dr. Michael Summer, an environmental chemist. Then, to ensure there'd be no bias, Dr. King, an epidemiologist and toxicologist with Toxicology Inc., analyze the results.
If you were to look at all the data I brought and you read everything, you'd be horrified.
Many people still trust that bottled water is the safest and healthiest option. Most bottled water is simply tap water or spring water that is put through a process that helps clean the water. But in turn, it leaves the water dead by removing all the important qualities for which water was intended to provide.
Look at how these plastic bottles that are for sale of water are just sitting out baking in the sunlight. Do you think those are BPA-free bottles?
Touch them, they're warm.
Ew, the water's like condensation on the inside of these bottles because they've been sitting outside in the sunlight all day. That's just BPA leaching.
The wrapping is melted here.
Into the water.
It shows you what kind of sunlight.
All day. And then people buy that and they drink it.
Which is why today I want to talk a little bit about Nestle, the largest food company in the world. Nestle Group is based in Switzerland and takes in an estimated $1 billion in annual revenue. And no, not just from chocolate milk sales. You see, Nestle serves as an umbrella corporation for over 29 different brands, including several varieties of bottled water, like Arrowhead, Deer Park, Ice Mountain, Ozarka, Poland Spring, and Zephyr Hills. In fact, Nestle water is probably the company's most profitable commodity. You see, Nestle rakes in an absurdly outrageous amount from bottling and reselling the water it extracts from the ground. Take, for instance, its processing plant in Wellington County, southwestern Ontario. According to Canada's largest citizens organization, Canadians.org, Nestle pays $3.71 for every 1,000,000 liters of water it pumps from the local watershed, which it then packages into single-use plastic bottles and sells back to the public for as much as $2 million. Let me break this down for you real quick. $3.71 for every 1,000,000 liters repackaged and sold back to the public for $2 million. That's a profit markup of 53.908.255%.
Mehr ich nachgedacht habe, was ist eigentlich der einzige wichtigste Faktor, bin ich ganz klar aufs Wasser gekommen.
Pure Life brand, one of the top brands Nestle has. We're looking to take that asset and expand it to more geography, more parts of the world. We think the growth will in fact continue.
Part of the success of Pure Life is Nestle's marketing.
I mean, I've seen it happen before my eyes. Here's a market where there's nobody drinking bottled water. If we go in and do this, all of a sudden we have 10 million consumers. How's that? It's brilliant.
They're after profit. They're predators, water hunters looking for the last pure water in the world.
For one tanker load, Nestle pays $10. Once bottled, the same water costs $50,000.
They've made tons of money.
What's legal and what's ethical and moral are two different things.
And at some point, this resource will run out.
As Mark Twain once said, you know, whiskey is for sipping and water is for fighting. And there's going to be a lot of fighting about this before it's done.
Every day, America's largest bottled water corporations, Nestle, Coke, and Pepsi, pump millions of gallons of water from the earth, bottle it, ship it, and sell it back for 1,900 times the cost of tap water.
It's bad for the environment, it's bad for public water systems, and it's bad for taxpayers.
Mein Name ist Peter Brabeck, ich komme aus Villach in Kärnten und bin seit jetzt 7 Jahren Verantwortlicher der Nestle-Gruppe, des größten Lebensmittelkonzerns der Welt, mit einem Umsatz von ungefähr 90 Milliarden Schweizer Franken oder ungefähr 65 Milliarden Dollar. Ja, es gibt daher bei uns ein schönes Lied, Wasser braucht das liebe Vieh, Hollerei und Hollerie, wenn Sie sich erinnern können. Also Wasser ist natürlich das wichtigste Rohmaterial, das wir heute noch auf der Welt haben. Es geht darum, ob wir das normale Wasserversorgung der Bevölkerung privatisieren oder nicht. Und da gibt es 2 verschiedene Anschauungen. Die eine Anschauung, extrem würde ich sagen, wird von einigen von den NGOs vertreten, die darauf pochen, dass Wasser zu einem öffentlichen Recht erklärt wird. Das heißt, als Mensch sollten Sie einfach Recht haben, um Wasser zu haben. Das ist die eine Extremlösung. Ja? Und die andere, die sagt, Wasser ist ein Lebensmittel, und so wie jedes andere Lebensmittel sollte das einen Marktwert haben. Ich persönlich glaube, es ist besser, man gibt einem Lebensmittel einen Wert, sodass wir alle bewusst sind, dass das etwas kostet, und dann anschließend versucht, dass man mehr spezifisch für diesen Teil der Bevölkerung, der keinen Zugang zu diesem Wasser hat, dass man dann dort etwas spezifischer eingreift, und da gibt es ja verschiedene Möglichkeiten. Also. And a very good example is the water issue. When it came to my mind that for the sustainability, first of the company I'm chairing, but secondly also for humankind, the most important issue is water.
Are you tired of the propaganda and lies that your water is safe to drink? Are you sick and tired of having foul-tasting drinking water? If so, then I know exactly how you feel. If you're like most people, you probably already know what it's like to have no water due to a water main break, chemical spills, fracking, natural disaster like hurricanes, drought, earthquakes, freezing water pipes, or even E. coli and other bacteria tainting your drinking water. It is these types of situations that leave you feeling upset, aggravated, annoyed, and worried that there is nothing you can do about your drinking water situation. Until now, the only thing you could do is sit and wait for the local authorities to take care of the situation, or rush to the grocery store and fight off mobs of crazed people just to get some nasty bottled water. The big problem with this is you are dependent on someone else to give you quality, healthy drinking water. That is why today I'm thrilled to share with you Aquaboy. Aquaboy has helped thousands of people just like you to obtain pure quality drinking water into their homes. It is the passion of the creators of Aquaboys to bring awareness to a self-sustainable lifestyle and bring you healthy, pure, clean drinking water into your home. As the name suggests, Aquaboy allows you to obtain fresh and pure clean drinking water with ease. Aquaboy is an atmospheric water generator that delivers the highest quality of water, such a high quality that we're able to label it pure water in accordance to US EPA government standards. Let me show and tell you exactly how Aquaboy unique system works for producing your pure drinking water. First, the fan begins to pull air in through the electrostatic filter, which traps all the incoming particles of dust, mold, fungi, or any other airborne matter. In fact, this amazing process is cleaning the air within your home. The air is then drawn across the chilled stainless steel evaporator coils, converting the water in the air into water droplets. As the air continues to flow, those water droplets accumulate in the water collection tank to flow into Aquaboy's filtering process to give you the purest water possible. First, the sediment filter removes any sediment particles and silt passed through the air filter. Not only does this process the water, making sure it's clean to drink, but also stops any silt buildup within the system. The halo filter purifies the water by the use of biocide beads. When germs come in contact with the biocide resident on the beads within the filter, they are quickly killed and inactivated. The special purification method process makes sure you have germ-free and safe water. The carbon filter is most effective in removing organic contaminants from water. For example, sediment and volatile organic compounds like pesticides and herbicides, decayed plant and animal tissues particles that are floating around. The ultrafine membrane filter employs an ultrafiltration process, down to the pore sizes of 0.01 to 0.03 microns. This ultra-purifying process will take out any algae, bacteria, microscopic parasites, and viruses that are found within the water. When the water makes contact with the calcite filter, acidic waters dissolve the calcium carbonate to balance the pH within the water. As you can see through this thoroughly intense filtration process, Aquaboy will deliver you the most reliable, purest, clean, and healthy water for you and your family. Now you must know, the stored water is refiltered every 2 hours to prevent any algae or bacteria buildup. This assures you that your drinking water remains pure and clean, ready to drink at all times. Unlike bottled water that's been sitting on the shelves for who knows how long, let alone enduring temperature changes during shipping. For example, heat. Heat can cause the water to sweat and create bacteria within the bottle. Now you know why one reason some bottled water just tastes nasty. Remember, Aquaboy is able to label the water it creates pure water in accordance to US EPA government standards. This is because due to the process and filtration, Aquaboy produces pure clean drinking water under 10 parts per million. To quickly explain the term parts per million, it is the measures of total dissolved solids in water or other liquids. For example, 1 ppm or part per million means that for every gram of water, there's 1/1,000,000th of a particle solid or other pollutant. The lower the ppm number, the more pure the liquid. In other words, Aquaboy creates and delivers pure clean water under 10 parts per million of contamination, where the average tap water delivers an average of 120 to 180 parts per million of contamination. Let's go over Aquaboy's amazing points. Aquaboy is a patented machine, makes pure water from the air. It extracts humidity vapor from the atmosphere, then collects condensation into ultra-pure, healthy, clean drinking water. Aquaboy filters out microorganisms, including bacteria and viruses, and delivers pure clean drinking water into your glass, far exceeding EPA requirements. Aquaboy recirculates the water at timed intervals, ensuring the water stays 100% fresh and pure at all times. Aquaboy stores up to 3.5 gallons of pure clean water and makes 2 to 5 gallons of pure water each day. Aquaboy also dehumidifies and filters the air while extracting water from the air process. Aquaboy is ETL certified. And Aquaboy makes pure clean drinking water under 10 parts per million. Here's what people are saying about Aquaboy. Sandy Allman said, "This is the best water I've ever tasted in my life." James Williams wrote, "Aquaboy is one of those rare tools that you must have in your house and business. Having clean, good-tasting water is a must." John Thomas said, "Our well water was always tasting kind of funny. I bought every water filter you could think of just to fix the issue. I knew this was an issue. I just did not know how to solve it. Eventually, my wife called up and got us Aquaboy. I'm so glad she did because even the kids are drinking water instead of sodas all the time." By now, you're probably wondering how much Aquaboy is going to be. And that's a fair question, given the water is generated from the air and then filtered to give you the highest quality water possible every day in your home. But we believe in making great, reliable products that work, as you expect they should. Having been disappointed by every other bad-tasting water filter out there, and learning that some bottled water is just tap water bottled in plastic, we were left with no choice but to bring you Aquaboy for a strictly limited time, and only from this video. You can own your own ETL-certified Aquaboy at our introductory price of a single one-time payment of $1,995. I know what you might be thinking, that is a steep price. Do not let that stop you from getting Aquaboy. Remember, Aquaboy generates pure, clean drinking water from the air. You are not going to get healthier, better tasting water anywhere else. That is why we also offer financing plans as low as $50 a month to make sure everyone gets clean, pure drinking water into their home today. If you're looking for peace of mind when it comes to pure, clean, self-sustainable drinking water for your home and family, just click the Buy Now button below this video or give us a call now to get the financing that you need to get Aquaboy into your home today. And of course, you can rest assured knowing that your Aquaboy atmospheric water generator comes with a full 12-month guarantee replacement warranty on all mechanical parts. So if you encounter a faulty part, we'll replace it for free. Look, you've struggled with finding clean water for you and your family way too long. The time is now to take action. Aquaboy is the missing link you've been searching for to acquire pure, clean drinking water in your everyday life. Imagine right now what it would feel and taste like to have pure, clean water touching your lips and quenching your thirst. It is just a few clicks away. Take advantage of this exclusive offer now while you still can by clicking the Order Now button below. And finally have that pure, clean drinking water you and your family deserve today.